When should athletes register for the NCAA or NAIA to avoid paying multiple registration fees? And is that coming once an offer is made? Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so the NCAA NAIA Eligibility Center, it's a really good question, Duncan. Just to kind of give some background on what those actually are in the first place. A lot of people have a misconception that those are, once you register for them, college coaches are able to start recruiting you. It's really not the case. The NCAA Eligibility Center, what their role is they make sure that student athletes are academically eligible and that their amateur status is intact so that they haven't received any money to play their sport. That's really their main roles, is verifying those two metrics for a student athlete. You can register with the NCAA or NAIA as early as a freshman and not pay, and then pay for it down the road. Personally, the way I'd recommend you can do that, that's for, I think that's a bad way of going about it. I wouldn't go through with the actual paying of the registration until you're in contact with coaches and you have a pretty good idea where you're going to go. So hopefully, say it's going into junior year and you've been having phone calls and conversations with these coaches for the last 3-4 months, and they're getting close to making an offer. Maybe they've made an offer, and you know what? I'm going to go to this school. Okay, I'm going to go and register with the NCAA Eligibility Center now and pay my $75 to be registered. It's just a requirement for the governing bodies. So it's not something you need to rush to. You could pay the NCAA Eligibility Center registration the day before you go to college. There's really not a restriction on when you can get that done. So it's not something you necessarily need to get super out ahead of to get recruited.
Yeah, and I guess to bring some clarity to that, the Eligibility Center is not a searchable database for coaches to find talent.
Right.
It's basically used for two things in recruiting. Number one, in order to bring somebody on an official visit, that's Division I or Division II, to declare one of their official visits, they need to have a 10-digit Eligibility Center ID number. That will come through registration and paying for that page. The other time that they would need it beyond that is to offer you a scholarship. And that 10-digit ID, again, is going to be registered with the NCAA Eligibility Center. Division III, because there's not a scholarship and there is no such thing as a true official visit at Division III. You can just have the unpaid profile page. I don't know that a Division III coach will ever ask you for that. So just some important clarification points there.
They can offer you a scholarship without being registered. You can't accept the scholarship. You can't actually you can't sign the commitment until you actually have your NCAA registration complete. But you can be offered one before.
Correct.